What's up, world? It's your boy Black Moses, and we're back again with another fire episode of Just Two G's Talking. 60 Cal and I sit down with the amazing Kyle Fryar and dive deep into the man behind the lens. So sit back, relax, and we also want to thank the Nicholas Paul Fragrance Company for this amazing scent. So spray some on, go get some, run the clip.
Look, it's a new wave. Before I touch earth, God had my plan paved. Don't let me get in the spirit, them demons getting slayed. If you live by the sword, you dying by the blade. Always stay one move ahead, never can be played.
What's up, world? It's your boy Black Moses back again with another episode of Just Two G's Talking. 1, 2 or 1. Back again with another episode, and we are here with a G that we had no idea about. Amen. How we found this guy to my right and to his left is a story in itself. And we just had to have him back because he wanted to be back. His name is Kyle Fryar. Yeah. That's 60 Cal. I'm Black Moses. And we are extremely happy to welcome this guy here because it's one of them ordained type of situations. So we just gonna run right into it. I had a bunch of jokes, but we just gonna I don't even know how I was gonna start this episode, man. So I'm just rolling. But I know what I was gonna say, and we just gonna let Kyle take it away, and it's gonna start off with this question. Last week we had Julia Kapler on this episode, and this guy came with her, and he was supposed to leave after 10 or 15 minutes, and he ended up staying here for the whole episode. And when we got done, he was wowed. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Kyle Fryar. And the first question, my friend, is why us? And why did you want to be here?
I think, first of all, it was a Saturday that Julie came in here, right? So I don't like to work Saturdays. Okay. I am not working Saturdays if I don't have to, but, I'm shooting a vlog with her and doing that whole thing. So I just basically was like, all right, I'll show up. Let's do it. Film it. I'll show up half hour or something and get out of here. Right. So I walk in, and the first thing I notice is you have a whole thing of fragrances here in your room. So I'm like, ooh, that's cool. We'll get into that later.
Right.
I see a bunch of musical equipment. Okay. And then I see two gentlemen with genuine smiles. Yeah. Good energy.
Wow.
Like authenticity.
Wow.
And I was like, whether I come back and do a podcast or not, I couldn't care less, but we're going to hang out. We're going to hang out regardless. So I'm like, I'll be back. Like the second I walked in, Julia, you guys are on the kitchen. I come in here, see all this stuff. I'm like, well, we're friends already. They just don't know it yet. You know what I mean? They just don't know it yet. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's why. I mean, awesome. You guys are authentic. You guys speak from the heart. You get to the depth of the matter, which is something I truly appreciate. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate you guys having me.
Man, wow.
Yeah, I start like that.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
Okay, where we go now? Podcast over. We'll just take the compliment and run.
Wrap it. That's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap. When we got done, you were extremely amazed and wowed by the podcast. You saw some things that you hadn't seen before. When I was doing the audio for the podcast and syncing the video and the audio and all that, on the recorder, towards the end of the video, I was telling Cal, this is going to be hard. I got Cal and Kyle.
I put a name tag.
Yeah, I'm putting 6. This is Ponderosa.
Just put it in post.
I was listening to the audio, and I heard you at the end go, wow. And it was so faint in my recorder. I got to have, wow, oh my God, man, I got to. And it was just like, God, let me hear that excitement. And you're the next interview. Yeah. And it was not planned. And what is it? What did you see at that moment, if you can just reflect, from what you pulled from the pod and what you saw and heard from that episode?
First and foremost, what surprised me was Julia. Okay. She's such a professional. She's such a businesswoman. She's so strong and strong-willed. And to see her come on a podcast with some neighbors of hers, I thought was really, really cool. She told me before the podcast, I genuinely just really like these guys. Wow. There's no agenda here. Like, it's not like some business move, right? It's a personal thing. She's like, I just think it'd be really fun. Okay. So came in with, I came in with I'll be here for 20, 30 minutes, grab some footage and dip out. And, it did not turn out that way because I was surprised that she, opened up as much as she did. Okay. She's a serious player in the business world, and she deserves all of that. Right. But to see her open up and tell her stories, and I just thought the big thing for me was just how authentically you ask these questions. It didn't, you know, a lot of people talk and they speak from a place of just wanting to answer.
Yeah, that's
And you guys
good.
genuinely asked a question from a place of like realness and depth that I was like, you know, if I'm ever going to start this journey of myself, like speaking from the heart, like this is a safe space to do that in.
Wow.
And so that's like first and foremost, like what I felt was like the authenticity in the room and the energy in the room. So yeah, like you said, I didn't leave. I sat right there. My camera wasn't even on anymore. I'm just sitting there like a child, you know. Yeah, I sat right over here on the ground. Like
we should have sold a ticket for that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, eventually you guys.
Yeah,
will.
he was a spectator. Oh man,
I
speak
like
that.
that.
I'll
I'll
receive
take
that.
that.
I'll receive that.
I didn't miss that.
Yeah, I didn't
take
miss-
this on the road.
Yeah,
man.
you'll be there. You'll be there with us, man.
You know
Yeah.
what impressed me about you? Just jumping right in a little bit.
Yeah.
Going feedback on what you piggyback on that is man, you know, you see, we got done, and you immediately brought up the spiritual aspect. So many people we work with or talk to or whatever, you caught something that not many people catch of our underlying intention.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you said it, you know, and I kind of want to, I've learned this about you. You do have a unique spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And you said it, and you look, you know, the religious world, I'm going to call it. You know, you said it, and I look back, and I was like, wow, this guy's like, you know, he's got a ponytail, he's tatted up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the first thing he said to me was, man, the spiritual aspect is strong.
Blew me.
I'm like, whoa. I was like, we got it. He said, I wouldn't mind doing this.
Yeah.
I said, oh, bro, you coming back.
Yeah.
Because I just know you have a story to tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everything I've learned about you. You said fragrance, photography.
Yeah.
Video. Everything you do tells a story. Everything you do, it has a story behind it. So you are walking testimony and story. Where did it start? Where did this spiritual journey start for Kyle?
A really simple story. I lived in LA when I was like 19 or 20, a musician, smoking weed, doing all those things a young, dumb rock star wannabe wants to do, right? All the stupid things that, so just experimenting. And like that was basically my college experience.
Right.
I lived in a building in New York in Koreatown with like 8 of my friends in a studio apartment. And we met some friends in that building. And I'm sitting there, and my friend asked me one simple question that changed my entire life.
Wow.
And he said, "What do you see when you close your eyes?" And I don't know, I don't know your guys' background, your guys' religious depth. I know that your father, you said, was a pastor, and you're doing a similar thing here on this podcast, and just being a spiritual person.
Right.
I said, "What do you mean?" Up to that point, like zero religion, zero faith, zero background, blank slate. I'm just a kid making music. He said, "What do you see when you close your eyes?" And I said, "The back of my eyelids." "What do you see?" "What are you talking about?"
Darkness.
Okay, so I see black. What do you? And all they said to me, and it changed my life, was, "That's not good." And I said, "What do you mean?" And all of that basically led to meditation, spirituality, and just the inner space and what it can bring. The inner connection to yourself and what it can bring that I was completely oblivious to my entire young adult life.
Oblivious. When you say oblivious,
Yeah.
so I'm assuming that you didn't come from a spiritual upbringing.
No.
Okay.
Was it the opposite?
It was the opposite. Yeah. We don't have to get super deep into
I
my
don't
past,
wanna
but
get
like genuinely like
we can get deep. We like to dig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You feel free. You say whatever you need to say.
My family, I think they'll agree with me. We're just white trash.
Okay.
And we rep it proudly. And the beautiful, we rep it proudly. We are white trash. We come from absolutely nothing.
No comment.
We come from nothing. Everything that we get from starting at the bottom is all cherry on top for us.
Okay. Wow.
My mom worked at Walmart for 18 years, starting as a cashier and all the way up to like management. And like,
man.
So the emotional depth, the intelligence, the wisdom, the spiritual stuff was just not, it didn't care. But what we did have was truth, brutal truth, honesty.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you how it is. We don't care. This is who we are. And so like
good.
that authentic
Yeah.
space, like I knew
Yeah.
who I was aside from spirituality. My ego was healthy and strong and
That's
full.
good.
Yeah.
We're fair-minded. We're logical. We're practical. We're all those things that make up what I feel like strong people, but
Okay.
the spiritual, the vulnerability, the deeper conversations wasn't something that we had. You know,
Right, right.
I lost my father was in prison my whole life, and my stepdad that stepped in from the time I was about 3 passed away in a car accident when I was 11 years old. So he went to work one day and never came home. So at 11 years old, you know, having no father figure, no stuff like that, you know, it wrecked our family. We were never quite the same. And so from an early age, I knew one thing for sure, which hence all the tattoos, is like, I'm going to do whatever the heck I want to do with my life. It's happening. If I'm going to be an artist, this is what I'm doing. I'm going hard. I'm going to make it almost impossible for myself to get a normal job. I got hand tats and neck tats.
Right.
Yeah, come on.
I'm living life to the fullest because you can walk out tomorrow and never come back.
Man, you better say that.
At
thing.
11 years old, I knew that. And I walked it back into school the next day. My mom was like, "You're going to school the next day?" Yeah, I am.
man.
And I just realized that I was in a new headspace. I'm seeing everything that everyone else is taking for granted.
Wow.
Simple things like just having a father around, having family, and that was my start of my. That was the true start of my spiritual journey.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
what's
Right
the meaning?
there.
What's the
Yeah.
purpose?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like, what are we here for? Like, if it could just be taken like that, then
Right.
what am I doing?
Because
Right.
I pick up, you know, when just the conversation we had and the conversation with Hannah and your beautiful fiance, you just come across as a real purposeful individual right
Yeah.
now. Like
Yeah.
right now, you hit it best. I know who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know who I am, and you're still learning. So
It changes every week. You can ask her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So you come from a path of pain, and you close your eyes and you saw darkness, and then that's what you're saying. That's where the spiritual journey took off from that moment on.
Yeah.
Was the pain still used, or did you just say, "Turn the sheet"?
You know, so I think if I'm being super, super honest, sometimes pain can be used as fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very competitive individual, and I think I used a lot of that in my athletic. I played 3 sports my whole life. You wouldn't look at me now and know that. I played all the way up, all the way up to varsity basketball in high school. I was very, very athletic, very, very competitive and driven, and I think I used that pain. I still had an outlet of music, so it's not a coincidence. My dad passed away when I was 11. I would find the guitar at 12. You know, so I was blessed enough to have a serious outlet for my pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not take to the streets. I did not beat up people. I did not have it have the pain leak out in ways that were unhealthy. I used music.
Yeah.
I used competitive drive. So like when you ask that question, yes, I used the pain for my advantage up to a certain point.
Okay.
And then at a certain point, you realize that competitive drive in a space where it's supposed to be collaborative, such as what I do for work, right? That competitive edge is actually just ego, you trying to best the other person and trying to do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at a certain point, that pain, I think Julia touched on this actually. At a certain point, that competitive drive, that pain
Yeah.
fuels you.
Yep.
At a certain point, it's no longer useful.
Yeah.
And you lay it down, and what happens is turns into love. Period. Yeah.
You see,
Love takes over, and that fire gets even stronger, even better, even more focused, and just
for a person who, so many people come from broken homes and are lost. You came from a broken home. You said, I knew who I was, or at least if within your family, you guys, hey, we had some values. I know you said we were the.
My mom's a gangster, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was about
My
to
mom's
say.
a
like,
gangster.
we're white trash. No, there's something.
No, white trash and proud though. Like it's a vibe.
There you
It's
go.
like
There you
hey,
go.
you're not gonna run. You're not gonna outsmart us. You're not gonna out street smart us. You're
Right.
not-
Right.
Like we were from the bottom. We're here.
Okay, that's where I'm going. You hit the word I was going to use. I was gangster is what you use, but I picture people say, "Oh, we're white trash, or we this."
Yeah.
I mean, or we from the project.
Right.
That's street smart.
Yeah.
That's street smart.
That's street smart. Yeah.
And then you close your eyes. I'm picturing this. I'm
Yes.
picturing Kyle's walk here.
Yeah.
He comes from this. He walked to this. I know who I am. Oh, I'm hard. Don't touch me. You're gonna find out.
Yeah.
That care. And then you turn this little anger into being very good at sports. You poured the channel. Poured the channel. Now you close your eyes and you see a light.
Yeah.
He smiled.
I'm so glad you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's
Yeah.
you hitting me. So what you're saying is really what happens next? I mean, because you got a lot you carry into that moment.
Yeah.
You dove into a band. You dove into music. basketball took you so far, and I got to find something else.
Yeah.
I jump into this. I got oh God, something's eating at me. I got to jump in this. You said you didn't dive into the bat. You rose back. What happened right after you opened your eyes when your friend said, "Boom"?
I'll put this simply and very generically. They showed me a movie called The Secret. Okay. Now,
I already know what you're going to say.
Let me explain myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's
it's
plenty
okay.
of flaws in The Secret.
Yes,
okay.
we are.
But something in that, I instantly knew it was true, and it was more of a manifestation. Like my ego still in play, but more like,
Right.
hey, I can make my life whatever I want, and I can do this. Okay. Little did I know, 18 years later, God has like, hey, that's cool, man. You got some really cool plans. Let me make sure that you're the person you need to be before any of this happens. Right. Ooh. So the next step for me was I got into conspiracy land and government land.
Yeah,
The second you find something that I truly believe the entire world is unconsciously searching for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's when the Bible says the kingdom of God is within you.
Yes.
This is not a sweet little sentiment.
Yes.
Okay. This is not something that should be taken lightly. This is not something that's like, oh, that's cool. Like you have a good heart and you're a good person. No. There is an inner space, and when you are open and you've been healed and your energy is flowing and connecting to something greater than yourself, that inner space is actually intelligent. That inner space is intelligent, and it will teach you. It will talk to you. It's the power of God that you get to actually use your eyes to see. This is not some metaphorical. No. When I found out that it was that there was when I closed my eyes and my inner space opens and I saw whatever you want to call it for the first time.
Yeah.
I instantly knew this is what the entire world is searching for.
God,
and I'm going to dedicate my entire life to getting to know this force as closely and as personal as I can. My friend said you're the first person I've told this to, that the second you heard about it, you took it immediately serious. He's like, you could tell people all day long on this podcast that close your eyes and go in. Like, screw the Eastern mysticism, the meditation, all of the connotations that come with meditation.
I'm just going to sit back and listen.
Okay,
no,
sorry.
No.
Okay.
This is what I was pulling for.
This is why I'm here. So, all of the Eastern meditation and Christianity sometimes has take all of the labels away. Take it all away. What's happening? A human being is sitting down with their eyes closed and they're breathing. Take away the nonsense, the noise of what you're labeling this as. We do it every night when we go to bed. We go to a dream. People just act like dreams are just like a commonplace thing.
Come on.
We close our eyes and our consciousness goes somewhere else every single night.
Yes.
So when you see a monk sitting in a meditation for 8 hours, you think they're not. What's in there? What's in there?
Come on, man.
This dude is cooking.
That's just what it blows my mind that people are just like, they nonchalantly kind of go over this topic and go, oh yeah, meditation. No. You haven't found what is in there yet. When you find what's in there, it is a sacred, like it took me 18 years to even do something like this. This is my very first podcast. This is my very first time expressing my genuine true self to the world to see. I told you guys before I got on here, 3 people watch it. I couldn't care less. This is personal for me.
It's time. I was excited to hear that because you put everything into whatever you do based on your upbringing. You put everything. You go all in.
All in.
It's not just a little bit. So I thought to myself, this guy's going to share something because he goes all in. So when he found this thing, he was going to go all in on it right away.
Right away.
Instantly changed my life.
Well, yes, instantly changed life. How also was there moments where my life changed? I'm going all in.
Yeah.
But during this journey, was there moments you got lost?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's a good question, man.
Because when I go all in, dude, it's like blinders on a racehorse.
Yeah.
I'm hitting it, man. Then all of a sudden it's like, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
We touched on it a little bit earlier, but you said, sometimes when you watch a podcast back, you're like, did I say that? Did I do that? So I think for me, getting lost is the point. Everyone's lost. You started off lost.
Oh my God.
You started off lost. You're not. So the journey is not from finding the thing, being lost, finding the thing. No. Nope. We're already lost. we wake up every morning, we don't realize we're in an infinite void on a rock that's like floating through space. So like it's a matter of
say that again.
Oh my God.
every single morning, everybody on this planet is waking up in an infinite void, and they are completely oblivious to the fact that this is a living reality, right? We get sucked into our jobs, we get sucked into family, we get sucked into all kinds of things, and the journey of spirituality is not to like find yourself lose. No, you're already lost, and what you're doing is like just remembering what life actually is. It's an unremembering of what you thought life was.
Every day,
every single day, until you wake up and you no longer forget. And you bring that wisdom into every room. Every morning I wake up, I'm like, we're on an infinite void in a rock spinning through space, and we are living in a monopoly board that society has called us. This is life, and I have to play the game. We all have to play the game.
Navigate
but I know
system.
exactly what it is. It's a game, and if I'm going to play the game, I'm going to win the game. And if you bring God into that, you not only win the game, you transform the game.
You sit with this guy every day. You sit with this guy every day.
Define journey. Define the journey.
Oh, it's 18 years ever unfolding for me. I started at, whatever it is, however old I was. I'm 38 now.
What does journey mean?
Yeah.
Define journey.
A rediscovering of who we are and what God is. The journey is from ego, single-mindedness. My name is Kyle and I'm 38 years old. The journey is from that to I am an infinite being full of light and love in an infinite space of creativity.
Bro.
The journey is from I think I'm Kyle, I think I'm 38, I am love, everything is connected, everything is one, everything is love. So that's a journey from like single, like being a person, to realizing you are there's too many words I could use that won't do it any justice.
My God.
But from a person to
God.
whatever you want to call the most love, blissed out, oneness, connection, enlightenment journey. That's the journey.
Go ahead, Mike. I know you.
Nah, man. I'm still digesting. I'm sitting there like
it's a lot. I know.
I'm sitting here like
dude,
I'm like Jesus. You knew exactly what you was doing when you brought this man in here. I'm just like, you just said some words. I had a moment when you told me you were bringing your camera, and I said, there's not a word in the human vocabulary that I can use to describe that goodness, that life force in the darkness, in the void. And what people miss out on is he is just as much in the light, in the darkness, as he is in the light, because he encompasses it all. And we are so blinded by the light that we see, like you said, when you had to close your eyes, what did you see?
He said,
Black.
Yeah. Separation.
Black.
Separation from what?
That is such a beautiful question. But even in finding that, I was thanking him, that being, that creator, that essence, that energy, for this simple blessing of you bringing your camera. And it's be in the moment. Kyle, be in the moment. Hannah, be in the moment. Jordan, be in the moment. Just watch me work. Just recognize me in the darkness and in the light. And when I went to describe and just say thank you and how gracious you are, as my freaking skin is rumbling and goosebumping as you speak, there wasn't a word good enough. I couldn't.
It's unfathomable what you find when you just peel the layers back of what you think you are. It took me 18 years to even speak about it because it's such a sacred thing that like I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it. A funny story. My son is in 5th grade.
Okay.
I love my son.
What's up? What's his name?
His name's William.
What's up, William? How you doing,
go.
William?
Shout out to William.
I'm proud of your dad,
Let's
man.
go.
You should be proud.
And they asked me to come speak for Career Day.
Uh-huh.
And this will kind of sum up like how I live my life on like a daily basis.
Okay.
I get to his Career Day, and I am absolutely terrified. And everyone's like, "You're just talking to a classroom of 5th graders. Like, what's the problem?"
Right.
I'm like, "You don't understand. This is not a classroom of 5th graders.
Yeah.
This is 35 spiritual beings that have probably never heard a word of encouragement in their life. I have an opportunity to express myself to these people, and I just now realized I'd never done that. And so this is a week ago. And so my body is shaking, my energy is trembling because I'm in a position where people are looking at me, and these children are open vessels for something positive and something beautiful. And it's like, to take that lightly is such an injustice.
Come on.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It just rattled me that people would be like, it's not even a big deal. What are you freaking out about? I'm like, no,
it is.
I come in, this is a huge deal. This is 30 people that get to hear me express myself from a depth and encourage them and inspire them. That, what we say here right now could change someone's life.
Yeah.
So like, to quit downplaying the importance of what we're doing here. Not you guys, I'm obviously, human beings. They're just like, I don't understand why you feel that way. I'm like, I know exactly why I feel that way because I'm here, I'm in it, and this is real, and this is crazy. So this podcast was scary for me.
We battle with this, Kyle.
Yeah.
We get.
This is unreal.
People don't know why we take this so serious. We get misunderstood.
100%.
And I've reached a point in life. I'm cool with being uncomfortable. I'm cool with being. I mean, if you don't feel Calvin, you just don't feel Calvin.
Yeah.
Our energy, we just ain't gonna click.
Right.
But people misunderstand, and we think about this a lot. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
I know people get tired of hearing, but I think we understand that there's someone on the other side of this.
Yes, sir.
That's waiting for something.
Yeah, you change one person's life with something.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not worth it.
Yes, I said.
Tell me that's not worth it.
It's
one
worth
person. Like we always say, well, you never hear. We don't chase likes.
Yeah,
we don't chase subscribers. We just, if one person hears this and go, "Whoa, man, you don't know what that means." To us.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
It's mission accomplished.
Yeah.
And when you hit it out there, I don't care if 3 people watch this.
Man.
You walked right into our flow. This means that this man's been doing this for how many years?
3 years.
3 years. This is only my
Fourth episode. Yeah.
And I still can't sleep the night before.
Yeah.
I can't.
Dude, I was tripping on the way here. You can ask my
just-
fiance.
it's that much
I was
buildup.
tripping like, ooh.
The
I don't know
whole
if I can do
week we've been talking about
Oh man.
Kyle. I mean, whoa,
Dude.
man, are you getting this? Are you getting this? Are you getting
Yeah.
this? Like, so yeah, we understand where you come from.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's not get this thing twisted.
Okay.
You guys are good at this.
Wow. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate that.
Okay, so you can get all. Let's zoom out for a second.
Okay,
You can
all
get
right.
as spiritual and you can really care and have a serious passion
Yeah.
for something.
Yep.
If you're technically just terrible at it,
That's a good point.
that's
a good point.
That's
That's good
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So like passion and skill and talent. Sometimes sometimes people have innate talents for certain things.
Yeah.
And some people are just really good at getting technical and just like learning to be proficient.
Right.
You guys are blessed with the opportunity to not only have the gear, the room, the space, and you guys also have the skill to keep the conversation moving and the right intention. Like you can't. It's a fail-proof plan. Just keep going. Yeah. How can you have God in the room, be proficient at the skill at hand, have all the equipment, have all the space, everything's here? How can that fail if you just keep going? It's impossible to fail if you just keep going. It'll get better and better and better. You can't.
Man, let me tell you, Kyle. Let me tell you. You podcasting to us right
Dude,
now.
I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm on his episode,
I'm sorry.
bro.
I'm
No,
This
this
is
is
called 2G's talking. We just in a room like a barber shop, or I don't know what you
Dude.
call it. We just all
you.
sitting here just feeding each other.
Yeah.
And then you get fed. It's
We just happen to be filming it.
Exactly, man.
You, oh my God, man! You got Black Moses on here. I'm freaking dumbfounded. I'm so out of my flow right now. You have just confirmed so much, man. It's just, and he's right. I do work hard. People really don't understand. And I appreciate all the viewers watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing, because we forget to do that because we're so in the moment. And like you said, it's not about that. And if we get 3 views, we're sitting on the couch talking, doing pregame. Before I call it pregame, where we just kind of, when people come in, I want them to get the world off. And he kind of said that. You need to come in and just cleanse and just be in the moment, have a conversation and let it flow. And then we just know when to go. When you said, I don't care if this I don't care if this video gets 3 views. Long as I said what I got to say, because I know I got to say it, that was the cue. We never just run in here. This is how this podcast works. It's you're saying everything that we kind of kept on the, I don't want to say the down low, but that's how we flow. And he just came in here and exposed the whole recipe. And it's good because God got him on a mission in here to let y'all know how we flow. So if it's just one view, 2 views, 3 views, or that one person, you get it. My thing is to authentically be real, but let him introduce himself. And when my dad was here, it was the story of the woman at the well. My thing is always, how do I give God without being pharisaical or a Sadducee or a religious figure or overbearing? And I said, God, I want them to know you without them knowing that they're being introduced to you. If it's a seed, if I'm watering it or if I'm harvesting it, let me know. And my dad was like the woman at the well.
Yeah.
And he was like, God was saying, hey, I'm just going to go to this well and sit in the heat of the day and wait for this Samaritan woman, the reject of the town, and sit there and cook. And it's probably 90 degrees in Charlotte humidity at that well. And Jesus out there sweating. And here comes a Samaritan woman to draw water. And as she's drawing water, as we all know the story, or some of you may not, Jesus asked her to draw him water. And she's like, why do you want me to draw for you? You're a Jew. This is your family's well, your lineage. And he said, if you knew who was asking you to draw you water, you would have done so. And I'll give you the water that you'll never thirst again. So my dad basically said, you're giving the world God in a way that's you, that's in a way that it's the podcast, in a way that's different. And that's what Jesus did at the well.
That's beautiful.
He introduced himself as just a regular man that was thirsty.
It's beautiful.
And then went in there with the, I call it the Jedi lightsaber.
Let's go.
Came in there with the Force.
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father.
I mean, that's every artist in the world that's doing good art. Like
Man,
you don't.
Oh my
Man,
gosh.
come on, Kyle.
And it's true. Like,
Dude.
That's a bar.
Once you know what divine inspiration is. Okay, what is creativity? What is it? Where does it come from?
Oh,
right?
Go ahead, tell him.
When you create something from a pure sense of selflessness and love and just passion, the creative energy, you can call it whatever you want, is in it. It's baked in it, and it can be felt. It can be felt. It can be experienced through what you made. So no, you don't have to come on podcasts and say that everything's so direct. But I've been doing that for 18 years through everything I've ever touched. It's just trying to put my soul into it, and it resonates. I'm doing well with my life, and I'm creating it. Like God is just pushing me to create and create and create.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, to your point earlier, being misunderstood is unacceptable. You almost have a responsibility to share with people how you got where you got and what it is that they're missing in their approach. And 95% of the times it's just it's that, what do you see when you close your eyes? That's 95% of what people are missing. So
let me tell you something.
Yeah, go ahead. Go, you take it, Kyle. I mean, Cal. See, I'm all messed up.
Hey,
You
we're all
can-
I might as well call you
I'll
Hannah.
be Kyle right now. No, you call me Hannah.
No, pause. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, you ain't that soft. But not that I know. I'm just, we just having fun. Anyway, 2 G's.
Okay, this guy says something every time that I just
Every
gotta
time he
stop
opens his
laughing.
mouth, it's a bar. I'm like,
That's.
yeah, I know. I'm the same way right now.
I'm going back to the creative. I have this thing, Kyle, where I get up in the morning and I feel myself. I'm trying to keep from getting choked up here.
Sorry, get choked up.
yeah.
I didn't always see myself as creative as a kid, and everybody go, "Oh man, I'm creative." I always thought I had something, but I always thought I was the most uncreative person on the planet. I couldn't draw. I couldn't paint. In art class, dude, I looked like, you would have gave me an A on just, you felt bad for Cal.
Yeah.
You passed my stuff. I
Right.
just could. It just
Yeah, I can't draw for
I
nothing.
can't do
Oh
this,
my
man.
gosh.
Yeah.
I can't. And then my dad started a photography business,
Cool.
Okay.
and I was like, I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
good luck, Dad.
Right.
And I went through that phase, and I helped my dad here and there. But still, I never saw myself as creative.
Mm-hmm.
And I battled with it. People got all these skills and all of this. It wasn't until one morning when I was up getting ready for football practice, and I heard a guy say, you need to start your day in quiet and connect yourself to the ultimate creator.
Done.
It took less than an hour for me to go, what?
Right.
Start your day with the ultimate creator.
Mm.
And
The
he will
only
show you.
creator. in my
He will
opinion.
show you
Yeah.
that you're creative.
Wow.
And my creativity wasn't art. It wasn't drawing and painting.
Oh, yeah.
But as I grown over the years, my creativity was in other areas. Business, this, that.
Right.
Problem solving, is it may
is
not look pretty in a
forward-
picture,
yes.
but that's a
Yeah.
definite.
And I used to always go, oh, I am creative and all this. But I found it in photography, my dad's business. My dad took me one time to help him at a wedding. And he always used to say, stay right there. Hold that camera on the tripod. Don't move. And I would just sit there and go.
Right. Right.
I'm like, oh, he'd go. And I go. I'm like, oh, this. Calvin being Calvin, once you get to know me better, I started moving the camera around.
Start seeing.
I was like, this is not a good angle.
Right,
I'm running
right.
all over. My dad's face was red, but I was like, I got all the way behind the pastor. I'm just all over the
Oh
place.
my gosh.
And we got done, and we're showing the bride and groom. And they were like, oh, I love these shots. Where'd you get these? I went up on top of the balcony. I'm like,
Wow.
I tore up. And it all came back after that one day of just being connected to the Creator. You just said something about being creative, connected to the Creator. When did it click for you? When did you find that moment where, God, man, I am creative? Because, I'm an athlete. You're an athlete.
Yeah.
And, we're both coachable. I think, I also thought the best, you want to have someone who's strong and spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find an athlete who's
Right.
coached.
Right.
Because if I get told something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't got, that's the game plan. I'm coachable.
Right.
That's the plan.
No
The
ego in
play
the
co-
room. No ego in the room.
Yeah.
Flow state is an interesting thing. There's a lot of athletes that talk about flow state.
Yep.
When you create something and you're not there, and 4 hours have gone by and I felt like 30 minutes, which is something this podcast seems to be doing for me right now.
That happens a lot.
It was really apparent as a musician that when I wrote from that space of like me not being there, like you almost have to like record what you're doing and you watch it back later and go, oh, that's amazing. Like, so like the guitar unlocked that in me where I can just intuitively just move around the guitar neck and write from a place of no mind.
Wow.
Buddhism calls it no mind.
Yes, I know
complete,
exactly
just an
what
open vessel for whatever comes through. And so the second that I started meditating and like finding these, what I would call flow states, is when I was like, oh, this is what they mean by like everything, right? This is what they
Yeah,
mean by like
yeah.
let God in and remove
Yeah.
yourself from the equation. And Kobe Bryant, everyone talks about flow state
Yep.
when they're barely there. They're just witness to what's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not making like beautiful pieces of art. Okay. I was
Right.
16, 17, I'm just like making what I'm expressing myself freely
Yes.
with no like plan, no agenda, no thought. And it was always my best work. And even that was probably pretty shoddy at that time, but and that's when I knew like, okay, how do I get rid of this like for reals? Like how do I wake up every morning and find this space every day? And that was like the goal, like wake up every morning, remove myself from the equation and live life from a constant flow state. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, I
that's
can
my
tell
question.
you, it's almost like you can lose your sense of identity to the point to where you feel like you've experienced death before you die. So enlightenment is not a thing that should be taken lightly.
Yeah.
What you're experiencing when you meditate and go within yourself and you are transformed, it feels like a giant ego death of who you think you are. Your whole life story just feels like it kind of falls away. You become cleansed. You become baptized. You become anew. You renew yourself every day. Just remove more and more of yourself. Remove more and more of yourself, and eventually you become your true self, which is joy, love, passion, purpose, creativity. So that person telling you, sit down, and like you trying to create something is not going to work.
Yeah.
Because that's not what creativity is. You don't get to sit there as Kyle Fryar and make something.
Yeah.
And then take credit for it and brag about it and run around telling everyone how good you are. That's not how it works. It's not what creativity is. I think a lot of very talented people will understand that it's not. I'm just a receiver. Just and the game is to just be as open as possible, as often as possible.
That's what I was getting at. Until I realized that I'm just a tool.
Yeah.
In the moment. Now, when you say, I'm be honest with you. I start my day. I call it starting my day with my own thoughts. Like I start my day early, and we talk about this.
Yeah.
I like to start my day in the quiet and the stillness. I just start my day, and I struggle. I'm just being transparent. We just open here.
Yeah. Just say
Then
what
I
you
got the
gotta say.
man sitting right next to me breaking bread here.
Yeah, we breaking bread.
Boy, you want to talk about trying to quiet my mind? It's a fight.
Yeah, that's real.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm talking. I can sit and I just close my eyes and there's some days and moments I can really go there. Then there's some days, man, I wake up and it is a battle. What do you say to me and other people that are battling with that noise?
This is my favorite question in the world because
Oh my gosh, let's go. Let's cook.
I'm gonna go super deep for a second, and I thought I
let's
haven't
go.
been this whole time.
Let's get the shovel out. Let's go.
Deep here.
Yeah, let's go.
Ultimately, if I'm being super honest,
Yes.
95% of humans are identified with their mind as themselves. They think that the thoughts in their mind is
Let me
them.
get up, man.
That's it. We out. Podcast over.
We can start over or something if you want.
No, come on.
No.
Okay, so the over-identification with your thoughts, you think that that's you. You think it's your personality. What if I told you that I can sit for 30 minutes and not have a single thought? Clarity of mind. The mind is not. The mind is a tool for investigating deeper into things, and you can use your mind as a tool. It should not be using you.
God.
Yeah. Okay.
So when your mind is
the phone
crazy,
just blew up.
it's just sit and breathe and focus on something that's not the mind. You breathe. Focus on love. Focus on your heart. Focus on your children. But don't focus it in words. Focus it in feeling.
Yes.
And
okay.
it'll anchor that energy down into your body, and the mind will become naturally less active.
Yes, I'm with you on that one. Now, I've read many books on this, and it talks about, hearing it from feeling, and I'm really into the subconscious, conscious mind. So I'm a student there still, but I'm really trying to apply the things in my life from a point. And when you say listen from feeling, like things that have come to my head, I literally it'll be something, and people always say you just grab it for a second and let it go. Some stuff I can grab for a second and it'll be like, it'll come to your mind, I go, I literally, that's my emotion, I go, and it literally there's sometimes, Joe, I go, it's sticking.
Okay. As far as thoughts, you mean? Or like
Yeah,
feelings?
thoughts.
Okay,
Just thought.
so thoughts, thought forms are not just thoughts into themselves. They actually have an energy attached to them. So the thought form is the first thing that happens, and then the energy is attached to it. That creates an emotion. And whenever the thoughts come, that same emotion comes. And so it's just a misunderstanding of how human beings work. We are able to have a thought, attach a feeling, and we get to choose whether we're going to have that emotion grow or we can dissipate that emotion, that energy out other ways. So it's like a lot of people when, like, let's say you get frustrated in traffic, you'll notice if you're careful enough that the same like thoughts will come with that feeling of anger, because that's the same feeling that came when you created the thought. So we're constantly creating energy and we're constantly creating thoughts, and they come together in packages. Yes. And so some of them are stronger and bigger than others, and some of them are a little more wispy that you can kind of just observe and let it go, observe and let it go, observe and let it go. So it's like a computer system just going and deleting all these old files that aren't supposed to be there. But it's not as simple as just ignoring the thought, because there's a deep feeling attached to it. So it's a matter of healing, what they would, just to put it simply, of just like processing the thing that you're scared to like touch or feel. And when that feeling has been dispersed and you've sat with it and owned it and looked at it right in the face, the thought goes with it, and you're now clean and free of it.
That's
so
good.
if it keeps popping up in your moments of
I
solitude,
understand.
Accept it, look at it right in the face, and say, "I see you. That's okay. Move on."
Yeah,
and breathe,
now,
breathe.
I do notice that it's easier for me the next day when I have a moment in the evening before bed to unload. Like I use I have a little portable sauna in my home.
Cool.
And I use my.
Oh, let me go.
I want one. That thing is fire.
I will fight for my sauna time. You'll ask.
Right.
Like, okay, dude, I gotta go sauna quick.
Yeah. The physical is a big part of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stretching, moving, getting active, sauna, all that stuff. It's really important.
My wind down time is I'll go get in the sauna for 20 minutes. And I just sit in silence and do the same thing I would do in the morning. But I notice if I unload some stuff that's just been all day, or just a thought or something that didn't go my way, I just ask myself these questions like, how did I do today? What would I do different? And it helps me. So the next day, it's funny, I wake up, I don't have those moments in the morning where I'm going, it's like unsettled. Like it didn't get settled yesterday, and it's like trying to reintroduce itself the next day.
You can't. Here's the thing I would say, and this is maybe brutally honest. You can't outthink the thoughts to get them to go away. So there is a visceral reaction that's connected to this thing, and if you're using thought to get rid of other thoughts, it's still not done.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
It totally makes sense.
It's a cleansing of like spirit. It's a deep thing, and like you don't even have to know why the thoughts are scrambled and going crazy. You just need to be aware of them and breathe it away from you.
Yes.
Like sit in the sauna, and it will just do it. You know.
That's all.
So you can't outwit the wit. You can't. You can't use the thing that created the problem to try and solve the problem.
But if I tell myself I'm like breathing in,
this dude.
I'm like breathing in good and releasing this, because a lot of it's just, I was just literally in the sauna. The air is hot. It's this, is that. And you breathe in this heat. Nah. It is, I picture it like burning away. This, I just visually. But when I put an emotion with it, when I just go, and I put this visual with it, just burning this away spiritually. I'm not dealing with this crap. I'm just burning away. The sauna session is that much more powerful. But if I breathe, like, I want to talk to you about your morning. You said you start your day with this. I started doing some things. Man, I never thought I would talk about this. This is stuff I've been studying on my own, and I used to pray for someone to talk to about this. Because sometimes you can say something about conscious, subconscious. Oh, Cal, I ain't got time.
Yeah.
You get creepy. So I just go, all right, screw it, move on. I have been starting. This is last 2 weeks. Different forms of breathing in the morning when I first get up. Do you do anything like? Do you take deep breaths as you're meditating, or do you do it as a preparation, or you just say, Calvin, that's a bunch of hogwash?
No,
get a new book.
It's there's a fault in the question itself that doesn't make sense to someone. Like that doesn't make sense to me, and it's the idea that we only have one moment we're living in. Time does not exist. If we sat here and stared at a clock for 45 years, we would never leave this one moment. So that's like the fundamental teaching. So I'm never not in the moment. You can use your mind to travel into the future to create schedules and do things, and I bring it back. You can use your mind to go into the past and discover why you are the way you are, and then you come back. But everything is happening in this one singular moment. The day you were born is still the same day we're living in right now.
Yes.
So the fundamental thought process of like the morning as opposed to something like it doesn't exist to me. It's one moment that I just have to
going
conquer.
at another level.
It's just one. You only have to master one moment, and make the right decisions in one moment. If you do that repeatedly, your life looks beautiful. It's just one thing. It's right here. Here we are.
Right now.
You know the presence. You know it's
Yes.
obvious, but the mind likes to jump into the future and likes to plan things out and likes to do a ton of stuff, which is sometimes necessary.
You talking my devotional now, boy.
And you
all
all
in
know
my-
when that moment comes, it hardly ever goes that way. Now, if you have a doctor's appointment or whatever, use your mind as a tool to think ahead and be forward thinking and to map things out of what you want. But like ultimately, that is happening in this one moment.
One moment.
So like the question into itself is flawed. Because
that's good,
I don't
man.
treat the morning as like the morning or like it's not the way I talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just I wake up and here I am and I just make sure that I recognize we're in a floating rock in the infinite void and I'm not Kyle Fryar and I have things I want to do.
We complicate stuff, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No, we
that's-
don't. The mind does.
The mind does. The mind complicates things.
My God.
When you say we, it's tricky.
Yes,
Because
true.
Yeah.
That's
what
true.
we are we talking about? Are we talking about the
Man,
cat?
got that.
Are we talking about the cow?
This dude, man.
Does that make sense though?
Man,
Like, I
stop,
hope it's not
man.
like too
Hey,
Hey,
philosophical.
just stop,
but-
man. Just
Dude,
stop.
I
Take
just-
a.
I'm
hey,
sorry.
Hey,
Man,
man. Sip
I
some
just-
water, man.
no,
we need a break.
I
We
just
need a
read the
commercial
book,
break.
The
This-
Power of Now.
That's the very first book that completely made me understand all of this. And it took me 18
Wow.
years. I'm still digesting it.
Dude, the
yeah.
book is something you just don't read one time.
Right.
It's
No.
like, okay.
It's my handbook. If I could buy 1,000 copies and hand it out every single day, I would.
Yeah.
That's how important I think that book is. And I know
But it
Oprah
has
pushed and
changed
stuff,
my life from a perspective of being in the now. I've always
Being
been
in the
that
now.
guy that for years, man, I plan, reverse engineer, A, B, C, D gonna happen. And then it's like
Yeah.
my life took off. Actually, this was introduced to me about 15 years ago about the importance of just being the day, the now,
Yeah, yeah.
the minute, the hour.
You can't not be, but
And then,
yeah,
I'm here.
it's
But
crazy.
mentally,
Yeah.
Just and it seemed like my life got so much easier. My stress level, my blood pressure went down,
Yeah.
my
Oh, yeah.
cholesterol went, everything just changed.
Yeah.
Just focusing on Calvin. Just you thinking about a day that may never happen.
Right.
But I'm just thinking, what are you talking about? I mean, I used to meet with this guy every week at Starbucks, and I used to think he was freaking. I used to leave mad because he would go, "No, you're in your head. Come back next week." I'm like, I wasted my gas to come. I mean, he just really. I was like, dude, this guy's making me mess. But I don't know why I went back. I kept going back.
Yeah.
Like, why do I keep going to this guy? He's pissing me off. My wife's going, why do you keep? I said, I'm going again. This guy's not going to beat me. It was like a competition.
Right.
But
The ego loves that.
Yeah.
You,
What he
you
did-
read the book, so
yes,
you know
yeah.
what's happening. Yeah.
what he did is he handed me that book.
Yeah.
I was like, power. I don't even know
It's
this.
so gimmicky,
I'm
the
a
name
reader.
is so
I'm a
funny.
reader. I'm a reader.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I ain't never heard of this guy. Then I started flipping through it going, universe. You want me to read this? And I let it sit on my shelf for 6 months. Like, I'll just keep reading my business leadership books. I'm good. I'll keep reading my self-help Think and Go Rich. And I'll
Yeah.
read all
Love that
these
book too.
desires and this
Yeah.
and that. I'll just read all these self-help books.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the manifestation, the visualization. I'll make my little dream board.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not reading that book about now because I got plans. I got a future. I'm here. I'm there. Man, I'm gonna be lit. Man, look at my board. Man, I got too much to do to be now.
Yeah.
Corporate world don't want me in now. They got Calvin. What's the budget for the next 5 years? I can't think
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
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 And I picked it up.
It's a misunderstanding
Yep.
for sure, and it's funny because the mind, my mind did the same thing for years. Like, okay, but I still have to like.
I got to function.
I wouldn't just sit here and breathe all day. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not going to be like. How do I?
You gotta.
How do you do it?
You
But,
gotta
like,
be in the matrix.
You start to realize that. The mind is a tool that you can use to go forward or backwards in time. That's fine, but do not take it as something that's like stable or real. It does not exist. But here's the beautiful thing: when you, just like I told you earlier, that the thought comes with the emotion and it creates like a thing. The same power can be used. Most people is a negative experience of like anxiety or overthinking or all that
I
stuff.
get
it.
You can use the
Yeah.
same power to help you and say, I know I'm going to think into the future, use my mind to go into the
Right,
future and have a
right.
plan. And I'm going to create a ton of positive emotion to that future moment. And I'm telling you right now, 100%, that moment comes.
dude.
That's the power of co-creation.
Don't leave me hanging.
That's
Shit.
the power
I
of
need a
co-creation. Is that you get to, God gives you the energy, the creative insight, the love, the beauty of it all, and it says, what do you want to make? Because no matter what it is, you can create hell for yourself, and God does not intervene if it's what you're doing for yourself.
Oh my! What am
God is the most pure.
My father just
express
said
yourself.
This,
Express yourself. Be good, bad, ugly, indifferent. It does not matter to God. It is child. I have given you this life, and you will go left and right and up and down, and you will do all these things. And at the end of it, I guarantee, when we go to wherever you believe we're going, we will always say it was perfect. I say that with utter confidence down to my core. We will say it was perfect. It was perfect.
Man, you making my day, my week, my.
You get to create it. It's the funnest thing in the world to say, I want to. What do I want? I want a fragrance company. And God goes, yes. What do you want? How does it look? How does it feel? Where are you in 5 years? Use your mind to go there. Use the power, and then enforce it with positive energy. And I'm telling you, the more energy you give it. Energy is a tangible thing.
Energy.
It's spirit.
Right. I'm with you.
But it's really simple.
I don't want y'all to get all mixed up. I know we got some.
Yeah, no. It's spirit.
Right,
it's spirit.
Right,
it's love. It's whatever you want to call it.
I'm not trying to get the church folk mad, but I'm like.
I know. It's God. It's love. It's the thing. It's the stuff. So
I need y'all to open your mind.
Yeah.
And come out into the 2Gs podcast. This is why we do what we do, because to come out of an infrastructure of thinking of the mind. I mean, you said so much. My dad made the comment to me the other day. Actually, you were here. We were sitting at the table, and he was talking about vision or attacking the hierarchy, or somebody's in your way. Mm. And I think he was talking about the story of Moses. And my dad said, God told Moses, look, I'm not going to step into your territory because this is your lane. And you hit on that. In other words, you want to be mad, you're going to be angry, okay, that's you. You want to make this decision, you want to be here, cool. I'm not going to step on that. But he told Moses, send him to my house so I can deal with it. So in other words, you have that choice. He's not going to step in your way to keep you as the visionary or the man, or to bring discipline or action to what you're doing, because he's giving you that right.
Yes.
But when
that doesn't mean God doesn't have a plan for you. And right. There's a time to shut up and listen.
Yeah, yes.
Right. That does not mean that this creative force is just this unwilling thing that doesn't want to lean you towards love and grace and beauty. It's constantly nudging you to truth.
Yes.
So it's not like this passive player in the world, right? That's not what I mean at all.
Right.
Or else we would all just grind ourselves into the dirt, right? So
the person that there was conflict with, he told Moses, he said, send him to my house. I'll deal with it, because this is your space and I don't want to intrude on that, which is a beautiful thing. God's like, he's not going to intrude on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when they went to God's house, he dealt with the person, how he needed to deal with them. And it's a beautiful thing, because you're saying all the things. Man, this is just so. Man,
my best.
You got
friend
Black Moses. They call me Black Moses. This white Moses right here. Oh my, Blanco Moses. I'm just like.
My best friend is a Christian pastor, and we talk every other week.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I'm not religious per se.
Yeah.
But I think the Christian faith is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's beautiful, and what he's doing in his life has completely transformed my idea of what Christianity was. Right? Some reluctancy, I'm reading some Eastern mysticism stuff. No.
That's a beautiful.
Don't. Christianity is gorgeous, and he. We talk. It's funny because even we're separated. He lives in California still.
Yeah.
And we're separated. And every time we talk, we're going through the same thing together.
Oh, that's
I just don't have a church that I go to. We're still connected. Yeah. We found love. We found God. We found love. We found God. However you want to say that. However you want to view that.
That's the church, man. That's that.
So, but every time we talk, we're linked up. He's like, I'm going through the same thing. I'm like, that's crazy. We've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. You got your Jesus had was it John? Who was the bestie? You got your you got your best friend. He had 12 disciples, but he had one John. Because everybody can't be that close to you. You can have your inner circle, but there's one that just gets that special part of you, man. I want to ask you this question. I got to put my hand on it. Boy, oh my gosh. So, I want to get back to that thought thing. Yeah. I'm not going to go into details, but I have some thoughts that pop up in my mind when I'm in quiet time. And I call them, for the church folks or, for me coming from the church, I like to call it the enemy. But you did this. And sometimes when I'm in my quiet time and I'm trying to get with my creator, the accuser's there. You did this. And you said it so beautifully, man. Don't get weird. This love taps right here. Because I gotta get it. You said it so beautifully to me. It comes with a energy. Or I like to say,
And it's not always ours.
All right.
It's not always
Stay
ours.
tuned for next episode because we about to walk out and come back.
Yeah.
Man.
We are all connected in this soup, and not everyone has good intentions and good energy. But God gave us the ability to create both for whatever reason. There's polarity to this planet. There's positive and negative emotions. There's positive and negative experiences. And not everyone has great intentions. So
I was getting
let
ready.
that be known for sure.
As I was saying.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but,
bro.
I just want to make that
no,
very.
bro.
It's all been love and puppy dogs so far. But like,
You've
come on now.
earned your right. You've earned your
Love and
right.
puppy dogs.
As I was saying, that energy or the spiritual army of the enemy, that force or that energy, that feeling is attached with that thought. And you gave me such good revelation not to look at my, oh man, oh Jesus, this, you can try not to. You gave me a way to detach myself from the guilt and the conviction of it, because now I know where to attack it at.
And that's so important. I think human beings, we beat ourselves up. We just do, and it's the striving of being good. It's the striving of wanting to do the right thing. But when we fall short, I mean, this is all over Christianity. You fall short. God is there. It's there to pick you. You're doing it to yourself. We do it to ourselves.
Man.
And we have the thought and we have the energy, and it comes in waves, and then we attach ourselves to it. But we can just let it pass and say, this is not true. This is not my true form. This was never my intention. This was not true. This is not me. And you can, it's such a freeing, you're right though, it's such a freeing way to view it, because if it comes up, it does not mean it came up for like a specific reason. And sometimes it's just garbage.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just stuff that you locked away in your body somewhere when you were 9 years old and you had a traumatic experience and someone made you feel inferior, and that just comes up.
Man.
It just comes up, and you've been holding on to it for how many years? How long have you drugged that around, identifying yourself with that's who I am? This is what I'm not. How long can you do that before you free yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta get this out because it's on me. I got a former friend and a current friend that hang on to the past and guilt to the point where they wear it in every situation. They can't have new relationships. They can't have new friendships because they carry old luggage to new destinations.
Yes, well said.
How does, and you may have touched on it, what we're talking about, but how do you make it plain for them to understand? How do you stop carrying old hurt into new relationships and letting go of the past that cripples you from people wanting to be around you or love you or just interact with you? How do you break those thoughts? How do those people break those thoughts? And I'll even make it a little bit more difficult. They're believers. They love God. They say they trust Jesus, but they can't let go of the past.
I have sympathy for people like that more than anything else. I would say I would feel towards it. They just feel unworthy. They feel unworthy to be. It's sad.
That's a
They've
perfect
identified
word.
themselves with something that's not them, and past actions, like it doesn't exist, but that energy form sticks and it can stick in the body as well. Like I store a lot of my stress and anxiety in my hips, so I have to stretch and flex my hips a lot to kind of get rid. It's a physical, visceral thing. This is like science is catching up to religion and spirituality right now, and they're starting to figure it out. But what I would say, to put it simply, is that forgiveness is like the most Christian thing I could say, but like, please forgive yourself, and it's okay. And like the lesson learned, but here's the part that the Power of Now really, really taught me, was that what you called the enemy, or what I called the ego, it is addicted to that. It is now a part of their identity, and what it does is allows them to play the victim to some extent, and there's a small part of them that enjoys it. There's a small part of them that enjoys that, and they're addicted to that feeling of feeling like life is happening to them, not for them. Oh. And so you're never gonna say enough words or give enough books for them to let it go. Dude, it's something that it's just a lesson that needs to be learned by them in this life or the next, I believe. So
okay, that's all I need to know. Yeah, that's all I need.
You just give love, and they're worthy, but sometimes people will hold on to it as a sense of this is what they've wrapped their whole identity around. Their story, their life story is wrapped into that. You know, my mom losing her husband in a car accident is one of those things that how do you, hey, I'm not here to tell her when to process it or when to let that go. Right. But it's a part of who she is now. And I just wish there was something I could do to free her from all of the things that happen in life, you know?
You said about your hips, carrying that in your hips. Yeah. I know the former friend I had, because of that, she carried a lot of sickness with her.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
it's the root of disease. I think it's the root of mental health. I think it's the root of everything.
Yeah, I totally believe that. It was just, she was a constant
stress case or whatever the case.
Yeah. And it manifested in her body in certain things to where it was just,
it's really obvious once you understand like how humans work and how energy works, spirit, love, God, okay, whatever you want to call it. I love you Christians more than you know. I don't mean to offend. I really, truly don't. No, right. I just, I'm not Christian per se, but I resonate with it just as much as anybody else in my belief system. So, but I kind of lost my train of thought, to be honest with you. But it just, once you understand how we function. Can I break this down for a second? Yeah. I don't even know what time it is. I'm completely locked in. Okay. Every single night, we all go to sleep. Why?
Restoration, rest.
Because we're tired. Yep. So what does that mean? It means in the morning we have energy, whatever you want to call that. Right. We can lose it throughout the day, and we need more of it, so we go to sleep. Yeah. Okay? That's how we recharge. When you wake up, now you have more energy. So you went into a space where you closed your eyes and you went to sleep, and all this stuff happened, and you wake up, you have more energy. So that's establishing something. This is common sense. This is establishing something that we can have energy, we can lose energy, and we can gain energy. Yes, right? Just like a cell phone. Yep. You cannot, if you don't plug it into your source, the battery will die, and you have to charge it every single time the battery dies. Human beings work exactly like that. Yeah. And it just happens to be that our source is the most beautiful, loving, blissful presence that created the entire existence of all the universe is in existence. Okay. Yeah. It just so happens that our source is like the most beautiful, loving thing, and the only thing blocking us from that is like us believing we're not worthy of it. Or like, so again, take away all the Eastern mysticism, blah, 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 all the titles. Meditation is just a conscious way of building the energy. It's, instead of going unconscious at night and doing it unconsciously while you're literally unconscious, you just do it consciously. You're building energy into your system. And the negative energy in our system that we've created through negative emotions, negative experiences, negative thought patterns, there is no room when God enters the chat. There is no room for that vibration to live there, and it has to come out. And it comes out in multiple different ways. It comes out as anxiety. It comes out as your body will, like, you know, see people in church like really going through it. When you fill your cup with light and love and good energy, the negative energy cannot sustain. It can no longer be there. It has to clear it out. And what it comes up is like big pulses of emotion that feel like you're going, it comes out crazy. And if you just breathe through it, at the end of it, you're like, oh. So human
my
beings are
gosh.
constantly, every conversation you have, you're expending energy. And if you talk for 4 hours, you're going to be exhausted at the end. Every thought we have, everything we say, every action we do is using energy. So the main goal of someone like me is to use it wisely. Put it into the direction that you want,
dude,
and
come
don't
on,
have
man.
your energy leak into every little thing. You build your energy up in prayer and meditation. Build your system up, and then consciously use that energy for what you want your life to be. Does that make sense?
Steve,
Like that's how human beings
how
work,
much
and we're just
time we got
unaware
left?
of it.
I know
Yeah.
Steve.
How much
is-
time we got left, Jordan? Producer.
You know,
Producer.
I'm gonna say this to Steve real quick. This guy Steve, I know he watches. Steve told me during one of our little coffees one day, he goes, Calvin, I don't know why you're focused on managing your time. One day you're going to learn you have to manage your energy.
Boom.
And I was like,
Thank you.
And I'm
This is why you guys don't like small talk. Like
Yeah.
all of it is like pretty natural to us, right? Like
Yes.
you're
Yes.
doing it. We're
Yes.
all doing it, whether we know it or not.
Yeah,
What happens when
right.
you get frustrated? Right?
Yeah.
What is that? I feel it right now. I get
Yep.
chills.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's we're all doing it naturally. It's just like just be more aware of it, of what's actually happening, and then you become superhuman, dude. You just like I'm gonna connect to God every morning, right?
right,
In your prayer,
right,
you have your little
right.
thing you do.
Yep.
I mean, that's better than 50% of people that I know. Just to take to take the time in the morning to like connect to God. Like you're doing more than most. Right.
Wow.
And not only that, but you guys are using your energy wisely by podcasting, your intention. Like we're all already doing it. This isn't like mind blowing information, but there's a logical common
No, you
sense
blowing
way
my
to think about
mind.
it.
You blowing my mind. Don't downplay this, man.
It's like
Don't-
when your energy is low, you do the worst thoughts kind of come. You get tired, you get irritable.
Yes.
It's like that's a telltale sign to be quiet and recharge. Whatever that looks like, sauna,
Yeah.
gym,
Yeah. Yeah.
time with your kids. Like go walk, take a walk in nature.
Yep.
I think meditation is insane because I get to watch a fireworks show in my imagination every time I do it.
Yeah.
But
Right,
so I
right.
choose meditation in the shower, sitting there in the shower,
Yeah.
hot water
Yeah.
on you. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Yep.
there's ways
I've
to
done
do
that.
it. There's
Yep.
ways to do it. And man, what happens? Here's a good question for you guys.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
What happens when your cup runneth over?
Oh, here he go.
Okay.
Now he want to talk about it.
Okay. So what happens to a phone when it reaches 100%? It stops. Right. It's not going to
It says
charge you
limit.
anymore.
Yeah.
Human beings are not that way. What happens? I would say this is the people when they
people
talk about
drink off of
blissful. Yeah, you get to spread it.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you
Yeah.
have more to give.
Yeah.
Because you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually,
State
and
of preparation.
and then also
dude.
like your
dude.
your inner kind of experiences start to really,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you take this with this right here? How do you take this to the fragrance, the photography, the video?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How do you take that? How does that? You're obviously a creative person. I've seen your work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I cheat. I've seen your work. How do you take? How does that apply there? Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. I know what I'm trying to dig at.
Yeah, that's a good
question in front. I got two other questions to piggyback.
No,
on
it's
that,
cool.
Yep.
I mean, I guess like the truthful answer is like I don't do it. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to do anything. You just do it. Like, where does the idea come from for a fragrance company? Like, it's pretty. Like, I talked to my friend. He's like, dude, we should do something. I've always wanted to. This is my company.
It's
yeah,
a plug. I'm
this is
plugging real
academia.
quick. I'm sorry.
And fragrance is interesting. So it just,
Hopefully
like
we
that's
get
like
to
a
that.
completely human thing. Like I just like it makes sense that like if I'm spending all of my time making money, like I would love a product that makes me money without having me to be there. Right? We need something that like somebody can buy 100 of these things and I didn't have to move a finger. So like how do you? It's just a smart way to like invest all the energy into something and then once it's built, it exists and you just let the thing go into the world. So that was my. Like a really like prominent thing because I'm spending 10 hours on set every day making money, but like I can't make it if I'm not on set, So
You trade time for dollars.
yeah. So and that's pretty like business, like just practical.
Right.
It's like I need a thing, but if it doesn't mean you do it. It doesn't mean you have your thing. It doesn't mean it should just be like, oh, I'll just go sell a bunch of rubber bands. It's like no. Put all of your wisdom into that as well. And that little poem I wrote on the inside of that was like it's my little energy charge and be like here's my little spiritual world
Yes.
given to the world in a product, right?
I'm tripping right now, man, because You didn't do it. Okay, you just pulled yourself out of the equation because I listened to your song Touch.
What is it?
Touch. I think it's Touch.
What is
song?
it? A song?
A song.
Not
What's
me.
what's the name of the one song you?
I don't know. Have I put out a song?
No. Okay. Never. Come back to
okay,
that. Come back to that.
That's okay.
Okay. A poem. I just read something.
Okay.
Come back.
Yeah,
Okay.
no worries.
But anyway, I've seen your photography. And the fragrance, well, I'm just learning the fragrance.
Yeah, I got it on.
We get that.
Fire.
There's so. You just said it wasn't me. You kind of removed yourself from the
Yeah.
frame. You're an artist. You're a creator. You create. And you removed yourself from it. And you want every person, and my little photography experience is this much compared to yours. I wanted the picture to say something. When I take that shot, I wanted to say something.
For sure.
It's
a beautiful medium. And photo and video is a beautiful medium because, the old saying is a picture says 1,000 words, but like, that's true. Like, that's true. If when you do anything at all, and you do it from a pure place, that intention is baked into whatever it is. We mentioned that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. What is your intent? You say when intention comes from a different place. When you're taking these photos,
Right.
Are you consciously capturing this? When you say turn left a little bit, are you just taking the photo and letting what comes out of it comes out? Or are you sitting there looking at it going, that is the shot?
So it's a little bit of both. Leaving God in the room to make it what it needs to be is just a feeling. Like what makes a good composition a bad composition is actually a technical thing that you can learn in school or something. The composition, you have the rule of thirds. There's a way to do it, right? That's technically sound. And then, so technical skill it's not enough to just be creative and wild and have your energy all over the place and like making random things. You do need some skill involved. So
Right.
it's a collaboration between you and creativity. But it's a feeling. You move the camera until it feels good. You don't have to know why per se. Somebody else can break that down later why it's a good composition. But if you're intuitive enough, you just move the camera until it feels good. And you just stay there.
Shut up.
So it's really that simple. It's just like an innate thing of like, this is bad composition, this is bad composition. Then this feels cool. This is good. And it requires some forethought. It requires there's a difference between videography and cinematography. So videography is showing up and shooting what's in front of you. You're shooting a wedding. You have no control over the outside environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cinematography is I'm going to shape this thing exactly what I want it to be.
Okay.
And it's always my goal is always to get to what you're really good at in these podcasts as well as yourself is let's get to the essence of what this means.
Yes.
I'm not interested in the story and the facade and the little mask you're wearing.
Yeah.
How do I get to the essence of what it is and then express that thing? And sometimes
reading
they're not
the
even
mail.
aware of it. They're not even aware of what I'm doing, but I show them the video afterwards and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was.
Yes.
And it's like, I can see
Yes.
you for what you actually are if you don't even see yourself. So that's like a skill that I think if I can brag a little bit,
You're
I'm
very
good at
good at it.
Yes.
You're
what does
good
it
at
boil down to? What does it mean on a human connection level? Where's the real story here? I'm not interested in the facade and making things look pretty for the sake of looking pretty.
Yes.
What does this mean?
Yes,
and then boil everything down and do my best.
No, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
I'm married to an artist, very talented lady.
Congratulations.
Creative and her creativity. I just am in awe of it. I mean, it's not just on canvas, but I used to hate going house shopping because I would just walk in and see walls in a room. My wife has already placed the furniture.
Oh yeah.
It's just amazing. The painting here or this. I'm going, couch where?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't even see it.
Yeah.
But, and we go to art museums and stuff, and I got caught up in the art world. And it's a long story because when I was in college, I took an art class. It didn't go well. Me and the teacher didn't see eye to eye, but that's Calvin, another story. But I'll go to a museum and be walking around going, and sometimes I can get a feel. You just go, wow, I get what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
But some of it you go in, and I tell my wife, she goes, Calvin, stop. I'll look at a painting and go,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
dude, he just threw paint. I could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, to sit there and you just,
Yeah.
and you didn't control where it felt.
Yeah.
I want to feel the stroke of the pen. I want to feel. When I look at I've been to photo shoots. I lived in California in Studio City for a while. And
Cool.
And I've been involved in the marketing world. You do photo shoots in that world. And I used to look at some guys come in, and they're just going, I'm thinking, yeah, God, that's good. Because one of those are bound to be good. Then you get the guy that's going, hold it. Okay, I need you to come. It's not a big... Like the guy started taking photos and that's not art to me. I mean, I'm just... in its own form.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't get that with you. That's why I was asking, where is this? You said you just feel it.
Yeah.
Boom. It's there.
Yeah.
But that's the one you control. How do you master the one you don't? Because watching Julia's videos, walking across the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't know if I don't know if you edited 400
Did you
times.
Did you do the one where they're on the beach?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Bro, that me and Kyle looked at. I said, and got Pops out looking out the window at the end. Was that you? With Holger in there.
Looking at the window at the end, I'm not sure.
I think they're in his house and he's looking out. And
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
Me, Lisa, Kyle looked at. I said,
But it's like how does anything get creative get made? So, flashes of images that I see before the shoot. So like, I'm going to push back a little bit on what you said about some art where you're like, this just feels okay. If somebody makes something from a flow state, maybe it is not thought out, maybe it's not articulate and perfectly planned out, but and some of it's complete trash as well. So you're not wrong, okay? You're not. Some of it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. Cool. I'm not going to sit here and like stand on two very solid legs and promote that like everything's art and everything makes you feel something because it doesn't.
Right,
okay?
right.
But I would say that sometimes the forethought of the idea and the execution of it's really simple. But the idea of like this model, this location, what she's wearing, what's her energy, what's my intention, does it match the brand, does it match the thing? Sometimes all of the brilliance is in the planning of it, and the execution of it can look really, really stupid and simple. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that totally makes
so the
sense.
intention is like all baked in the pre, and then you make it look really graceful and easy on set.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All of the creativity was before, and then even in post, like the way they colored it, everything's intentional.
I'm getting it. Okay, if Kyle's next, I'm not there. How much pre is Kyle, or how much? I mean, you
sometimes it's none. Sometimes I just wing it.
Okay.
And then in the editing room is where my magic happens. The story reveals itself to me.
Yeah.
I could show up right now. I could tell. We have no idea. We have no plan of like shooting a video today, right?
No.
For me, right?
Yeah,
Zero.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we're going to.
Right.
But if you told me I want a video for this podcast and I want to make like an intro video for it. Right now I could pick up a camera, start shooting, and I'll figure it out later.
Right.
The editing room is where like I get to like put on academia and sit there and like zone in and like show me the story.
So funny.
What's the story? Find the right piece of music. It's perfect. And then how do you cut to that piece of music? And then shape. At the end, I'm like, I was barely there.
Yep.
Run and gun, barely there. No plan at all. And sometimes it's meticulously planned, and it usually ends up going the run and gun way anyways when you get on set.
I was just about to say
you have a plan for this podcast. Every time you come in here and it's like it goes blown out of the water.
Nope.
So like I always try and encourage people to shoot with intention first, some intention. What's the intention? I want a podcast intro video.
Yeah.
That's your intention. Shoot and get as many textures and colors and paintbrushes as you can. And paint the thing later.
Yeah.
You're just gathering. You don't have to have it all mapped out per se. You have to have technical skill. Where's the light? Where's the cinematography? Where's the depth in the image? There's some technical things that happen.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, man, run and gun, wing it, and let God do the rest when you're in the editing suite.
As you grow, does your eye change?
You get better and better. Anything
as you grow
invest time.
spiritually.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I can have an emotional spiritual breakthrough and my art the next day is better. And my guitar playing, I'm seeing it more clearly.
Yeah.
Like it's directly connected. Like the filter we view the world from, if it's shattered and you're more real and more vulnerable, you look back at everything you've done before and it wasn't from that perspective. So when your spirit grows stronger and stronger, everything you do is affected.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah. You just
that's the answer I was waiting.
Yeah.
You just answered a lot of questions. So I just want to piggyback on that art thing. He was asking me he was telling me something about going live. He said, "Man, the way you promote the pod, I don't know how you do this and this, that, and other." And I'll edit, and I'm not big into editing. All this, the 2Gs started from sitting on a porch with a good friend with a freaking voice recorder, and then it moved into all of this, and I just kept going. And it was one thing that I didn't want to stop at, and I knew I had to give something to the world. So the editing comes with it, you know. You got to get in, and you know, like you said, you're an athlete. You got to, huh?
You had an intention of a podcast. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but you just, and here we are, and you're like editing and doing all this cool stuff. Now imagine if you kept going. Where are you in 5 years? Like, it's going to be insane.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of not stopping.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's not stopping. And when I go back and look at the stuff, or Kyle, how'd you come up with it? I said, dude, I just did it, and I was just.
Like, I don't know.
But you
that's how I still feel, dude.
You're
really good at this. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just keep going.
It's just like, and I want to. It's almost like I want to say God, and I give God all the credit in the world. But sometimes I think God just goes, where it's not you. Just you want to be used. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
here.
I always say it's a co-creation thing because you still have to be there.
Yes.
Right? God moves through, but you still have to have the courage.
Yep.
You have to have
you got to show up.
You got to show up.
Like you say, you got to show up.
You know, do we all deserve a little credit? Yeah.
Yeah.
No ego, but like
no ego.
Appreciate the love when people are like, "This is great," or "This you did a good job. This is beautiful."
Yeah.
I do take that to heart, and I do appreciate that. Halfway knowing.
Yeah.
I was barely there. Thank you, though. But like, hey, it must have done something right.
Because that's what I was trying to get at. Because at first I was like, God, he's selling this stuff really short. I know you said I wasn't there, but I mean, I'm thinking you're the vessel.
Yeah, I know. All I had to do was clear it, though.
No,
that's what I'm proud of.
Right.
Is the healing.
There you go.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Okay.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
I'm proud of myself for having the courage to heal.
Yes. This is a key pointer, man. We got to shut this down. God,
dude.
First of all, hold on.
I have no idea.
Are you gonna come back?
Dude, I'll come back whenever you want.
We got to do a part 2 because we didn't cover the tip of the pinhead on this guy. So healing is important. You answer the thing for me when I say I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just being available and wanting to be used, which I think is a beautiful thing. And you get that through healing. You got to let certain things go to open room for the Creator to use you.
Exactly right. Well said. Well said.
You got to give yourself room, man.
You said it right on the head,
bro. Hold on. What's most important? Okay, real quick. This is his fragrance Academia.
It smells.
It smells fantastic. But we will talk. I promise we will talk about this next time.
Yeah, business
I got
is
a
part
friend.
of it, but I wanted this to be a spiritual.
This is just a piece of him. I got a good friend that's in the fragrances. I'm gonna make sure he gets this sample. Before we get out of here, Mario Curry.
You got a bottle coming your way.
Mario, you hear that? This right here, I had to give you something. I want to make sure I got this on camera.
You know,
hopefully,
it's so funny. I was like, I want a cool mug when you guys are drinking your coffee. I legit was like, why don't I have one? What the?
I want to give you this mug. This is the first 2G's mug we gave out. We're giving out. Cool. Julia, I'm gonna get you one too. But this is my story in my life. Is let's see, this golf ball behind me, which is a monumental moment in my life where my life changed for the good. Right. So I felt this morning when I was telling you about the podcast to give you this mug. God put it on my heart. He said, so cool. When you have this interview today, people need to leave your podcast knowing they had introduction with me, and they need to have something to take with them to memorable from the moment of the podcast. Yeah. So,
and it means more now because this is the first time he's ever revealed how he truly felt.
Yeah.
And you can ask my fiance. I mean that, like, truly, like I feel called to do this to some extent.
Yeah.
And I know that that's the right thing because I'm terrified to do it.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
I'm terrified to do it. So like the second I'm terrified of something,
you didn't sound terrified.
It's the thing to do.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
Man. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for for what you guys do and
Oh man.
allowing me to express probably a different point of view
Yeah.
to a lot of your Christian viewers.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. I don't even know if half of them are Christian.
It's all love, and it means more than you guys know.
Oh,
No,
man.
man.
Oh,
I mean that.
appreciate it, man. I'm hitting the mic. I'm so out of swag points right now. This dude and just
No room for that.
real. Oh my gosh, reveals so much to me.
Real talk.
We gotta get out of here. We're on all social media platforms. I appreciate you guys watching. I want to say like, share, subscribe. 2G's.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. I want to
stuff.
give room for Kyle. You got something you want to say?
No, I thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being you.
Thank you.
That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you
And
for being Kyle, man.
for those new creatives out there trying to find their way in their space, man, take us out of here, Kyle, and tell them what they need to do.
Yeah,
to
I'm
find
gonna
it.
make it really simple.
Yeah.
Do it. The crazy idea, the crazy thing that you want to be doing, do it. You will figure it out later. If you feel called to do it, you feel passionate about it, don't do it for money, don't do it for likes, don't do it for shares, don't do it for anything other than the pure joy of self-expression. And whatever that might be, that can be business, that could be anything.
Yeah.
And do everything you do with serious conviction that it will work out for you. And I promise that without the fear, without the doubt, without all the ways that we limit ourselves, you'll make it happen.
Oh, wow.
100%.
Oh, dude, we
Yeah,
going to
that's
put
it,
that
man.
on a mug or I don't know, a shirt. He just went straight Nike.
Oh
on us.
my
Just
gosh,
do it.
nitrous. That's 60 Cal.
Yes.
I'm Black Moses.
Yes.
This big money Kyle right here, the guy that's just the instrument. Go follow him on Instagram. We'll put up all this stuff, Facebook,
Yes.
wherever else he's on.
Highly
He got
recommend.
some good stuff, some fragrances. Be on the lookout for this guy. This guy is an honorary G. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We out of here. Peace.
Peace.